Today we're talking about mainly the VC4 versus the much loved Efest Luc V4. Now, this charger many of you are familiar with and use a lot. I enjoy it, it's a great charger. But always looking to be on the cutting edge, I wanted to check this guy out. So, I had one before that I sent back, and long story short, I ended up getting one for free, so I would change my feedback. But that one I think was damaged in shipping. This one's been fine, and my buddy's had his for a couple weeks. That one's also been fine. So, just gonna be a quick review here. I'm just gonna go over the pros and cons. So I'll show you the boxes. You've seen them. Here's the instruction manuals that it come with. Pretty similar specs, except for the fact that the VC4 can do nickel metal hydride. So your rechargeable AA's, rechargeable AAA's, rechargeable C's, and rechargeable D's. Am I forgetting any of those? Well, there's one called SC, and I have no clue what that is, but apparently that's a nickel metal hydride battery called SC. Both of them support all standard 14 sizes of lithium ion. So, no differences there. The only difference in VC4 is that they have the widened bays for 18650s. They have nice springs you can put with one hand, just like the Luc V4 does. The display is a little bit, gives you more information than the Luc V4 does. It gives you real-time milliamp hours, so you can actually keep track of your battery health that way, but I won't get into that, but it's a pretty cool feature. It tells you the current voltage is at, and what type of battery it is, if it's lithium ion or nickel metal hydride, and it will tell you the amperage up here that it's charging the battery at. So right now it's putting 1 amp into channel 1. So the biggest con about the VC4, as I've already mentioned, is that it doesn't come with a DC power adapter. Instead it comes with a USB cord, so basically you have to use a cell phone one that you'd have lying around your house like this. Anything that's 5 volts and under 2 amps. Unfortunately, good luck finding one that is 2 amps, because there are not many phones that need that. So if you want to take full advantage of the 2 volts for the VC4, you're going to need to buy one. Otherwise, you're not getting to use all of the full 2 amps. So you can't charge 2 batteries at 1 amp at the same time without that. The most you can do is half amp per battery, which is the most that I'll charge an 18650 anyways. I know some people in a hurry will use the Luc V4 to charge an 18650 and 2 amp, which per the spec sheets of the 25Rs and Sony's and LG's is safe, but it does shorten the life of your battery. So I don't think a quick charge here and there is worth shortening the life of my batteries, even though they're only $5 25Rs, but still. So yeah, that is, I wish that they just included a power source with the VC4 instead of this cord, because I'm probably just going to end up getting a 2 amp cord, because I can't find a 2 amp one around the house. But anyways, size, they're pretty comparable. The VC4's a little bit bigger. I still like the aesthetics of the Luc V4 better. This VC4 has what they called soft start, where it basically starts at trickle charge and then goes to the normal stages of constant current, then constant voltage around 3 volts, and then finishes with trickle charge. That's your standard cycle for the Luc V4 and a lot of other better chargers. Some don't even use trickle, but they both have that same cycle, except the VC4 will start for the first minute of charging with trickle as well, because they believe that that will extend the life of the cells in the battery as well. So it's kind of a nice thing, and it also has the ability to reactivate severely overcharged batteries. I was able to take a battery I discharged to 1/2 volt, and what it does, it'll just sit there for a long time like it's not reading any battery, but it's actually trickling into the battery. The way it's set up is to always be trickling as long as there's no short detected. So as long as there's connectivity between the negative and the positive and the resistance is high enough, aka there's no short, then it's always trickling. So that's how it's super low, unless it detects a fully charged battery, because then it doesn't trickle, then it shuts off the battery until it drops below 3.9, and then we'll start recharging it again. So yeah, Luc V4 also has its own version of 0-volt activation, but unfortunately I haven't had much luck with it. I've gotten it to take a battery as low as 1.8 volts, which is still pretty good back, but half the time it doesn't work. So, I mean, I wasted a lot of batteries testing this, so people will say, well, they both have that feature, but I tested it on 2 different Luc V4s, and it can bring back overcharged battery, discharged batteries, but it doesn't do it at as low voltage as the VC4, and it doesn't do it as often, in my experience with the testing I've been doing. And one more thing here, I had to set up a voltmeter out of a breadboard and some parts because I found my fluke. But when you take a fully charged battery off the Efest, like I just did, and put it on my makeshift voltmeter here, you'll see it comes out at about 415. That's about what I've been averaging. So a little under the max 420, or the suggested full charge limit of 420. Now, I've been doing this a lot and averaging them, and when I take a fully charged battery off of the VC4, it's right at 420. And it's been like, oh sorry, a little too low. It's been like that almost every single time I've tried it. So the camera's not focusing. But yeah, so not a big deal. 20th of a volt doesn't really mean much to many people, but I prefer the charger with the better accuracy there, so it does stop right at 420. 420. So that's a nice feature. This is going to be the blurriest video ever because my camera doesn't want to focus. So in conclusion, neither battery or charger is better than the other. Depends what you prefer. If you want to 2 amp charge, you're going to need the Luc V4. You can 2 amp charge in the outer bays on this one, and ours is the inner bays. I get them mixed up now. No, the 1 amps are on the outside on the VC4, and the 1 amps are on the inside of the V4. I shouldn't have done this review at 2 o'clock in the morning. They're both made of fireproof ABS material, and they both do shut off charging instead of trickle when they finish, so they will actually shut off and start charging again when they get to a certain voltage. Might have already said that, but I don't remember. And yeah, like I said, they both support all of the same types of lithium ion batteries. The only difference, the VC4 can do nickel metal hydride, which is mainly your rechargeable type batteries, your standard AA's and stuff like that. But the cool thing is it can do nickel. I wish I had a nickel metal hydride to show you, because it not only is it independent with different types of lithium ion batteries, but it's independent as far as I can stick 2 lithium ions in here and a nickel metal hydride, and it will be able to detect the difference and appropriate the right voltages, because most nickel metal hydride is lower voltage. And also, one thing I forgot to show you is the way the little button works on here. If you have 4 batteries in, you use this button here to switch between the 2. So, like right now it says channel 3 and channel 2. So, these 2 red ones, which are the only 2 that are charging, and you press it again, it switches to the other 2, which are both oh no, this is channel 1 and channel 4, I had that wrong. And this is channel 2 and channel 3, so it's your 1 amps and then your half amps. So, as you can see there, it'll just, the Luc V4 has never had a really good indication of when it's done charging. It just kind of stops moving. That will, there's no question there that it says it's done full, and then it will tell you how many milliamp hours it put into the battery. In this case it didn't because it was already full, but as you can see over there it's counting it, which I really like that feature. And then up there it shows you the current per port, and right now, since there's 2 batteries charging and I'm using a 1 amp power adapter, it is putting half an amp per port, which is but I was at the end of the conclusion here anyways. So yeah, basically there's not a ton of differences between these chargers. This one has that soft start feature and has a better chance of bringing back overly discharged batteries, and this one can do the independent 2 amp. So that's one pro of it. Oh, and I almost forgot, I don't know if a lot of people with Luc V4s already know this, but the Luc V4 is actually a portable charger. I just found this out, so it's kind of cool. It will charge anything that's USB 5 volt 1 amp or lower. So I always thought that that USB port was to externally charge something else, but nope. So here's an old iTaste VV, and I plugged it into the USB port. And what you do is you press this and hold it down for a second. Oh. And you have to put the battery that you want to use into the second port. It won't work in any of the other ports. But once you do that, it will constantly give off 1 amp 5 volt charging, which will charge a cell phone, charge an iTaste VV if anyone in the world still uses those. I even, to be funny, I even hooked up the VC4 to the Luc V4's external charging and transferred the power from one battery to another. So yeah, that's another big pro for the Luc V4, is that it's a external power bank, because you know, when we go camping we bring all of our batteries with us, and yeah, if you have that many batteries you usually don't use them all, and it's nice to be able to charge things when you're out and about, or if it's an emergency or something like that. So, and that about covers it, guys. I personally prefer the VC4, but again, the Luc V4 is also a great charger. But for my reasons, I like the information that you get from the VC4, and I like the display better, and the zero activation is better on it. 0 volt activation. So there you go. There's my 2 cents on these 2 chargers, guys. Hope it helps some of you decide who are stuck picking between them.